Okay guys, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Eating Gold. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, don't forget to subscribe down below, leave a comment or whatever, and all that shit. We're doing all types of things. Like, I'm trying to get like different content out, so just let me know what you guys want to see. I have some good ideas, and like I'm thinking about starting a podcast and stuff. So yeah, I got this little like background going because, you know, I just moved into my apartment, so I don't really have much decorations. I just have a little furniture, but I got a little like neon flamingo in the back, a little spice, and I got an evil eye just in case. So, you know, I feel like I got what matters. And then as time goes on and I furnish, I'm gonna get more of a setup for like these videos. But I guess I got everything that I need. So let's just get straight into the video. So pretty much, if you guys don't know, like majority of people know me from like my dancer vlogs, and they like know me from like, you know, my soft white underbelly video. And it was, you know, talking about, you know, my life and a little bit of the things that I've been through. I didn't say too much, but I said enough to tell people about, like, you know, my story. And so I figured, why not drop a story time, like keep on dropping story times about, like, you know, the experiences that I've been through. So, you know, we're taking it one step at a fucking time. So today I'm gonna be telling you a really crazy story that happened probably like, I would say a year and a half ago, because, you know, I'm only 20. So yeah, so this story time is the crazy, I don't even know what to say, like grooming, predator, manipulative sugar daddy that I had. I only had one sugar daddy because once I had this situation, I realized it was not for me and I was not gonna get back into that. So yeah, I'm gonna be telling you that story on how I learned my lesson, and I realized that, you know what, it's not my type of lifestyle. I don't judge people that do, but it's not for me because, bitch, I'm nobody's puppet. So let's just get right into this. So it started off, I was working in Tampa, and I was working at one of these clubs. It's a more popular club. This was during, like, I would say like December time. Yeah, like this is the winter time. And if you guys know like the timeline on that whole thing, if you go on my IG, like you can see how long ago this was, because you'll know that I lived in Tampa not too like long ago, but now I live in Fort Lauderdale. But I was working at this club, and at the time I was 18 years old. Yeah, like I had turned 18 in February, and this was the December before I turned 19 years old. And so pretty much I was at this club and I was working, and I just remember like I saw like this really cute dude, and he was like, he kept on trying to find this one girl, and we called her Sunny or whatever, I think. And but she would not come out of the locker room because she was like, he's not spending no money. And he was just like, go in there and tell her this and I'll give you money or whatever, I'll tip you. And so I'm like, okay, bet, like he might not want me, but he finna give me the stack for me going to get her. Because, you know, at the time I wasn't doing much, so I was just chilling at the time. This was like before, I mean, I was a pretty bitch, but I wasn't a bad bitch. So just chilling, you feel me? That's what I was doing. And I just remember, like, after I went to go get the girl, he was like, oh, well, my dude's gonna take care of it. My uncle's gonna take care of it for me. And so his uncle's like right there, and he's like trying to buy me a drink or whatever to pay for me going to get her, even though I really wanted money. But he wanted to buy me a drink or whatever to like compensate me pretty much. And but at the time, you know, like I was underage, and I told him that. But like usually clubs don't really care if they drink underage or not, so it didn't really matter at the time. But he was like, I can't buy you the drink now, but I can get somebody else to buy it for you, because like I guess he was a business owner, which we'll get more into that later. because he didn't want to get caught up or whatever. And so pretty much like he had invited me over later, like there was a couple people that invited me to like hang out after the club, because that's what people do, like and he invited me over to like rub his back or whatever, and like pretty much like he wanted me to massage him or whatever. And I was like, okay, like I've given people massages before, like it's no problem, like, and this man had money. So I was like, bitch, like at the time I was 18 and dumb, and I was like, I'm gonna just go rub this nigga back. And so we go to the hotel, and I'm like, I'm rubbing on his back or whatever, and he's just like, I have to keep it 100 with these stories, because if I don't, they're not authentic. But this dude, like at the time, he had like kind of like, he was trying to peer pressure me into doing more things with him. And at the time I was like, you know what, like I need a sugar daddy, like he's got the bag. And so we ended up like doing some things or whatever. Like, I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but after a while he actually became my dude, so it didn't even like matter. Like, we just ended up like, you know, I gave him his back rub, he gave me my money, and then like we ended up having more relations later on. And so I started seeing this guy like all the time, because like, you know, he would start, you know, like paying for my nails. Keep in mind, he lived in St. Pete at the time. So this man, like, he would at first he told me, I think he told me he was 57. This man is 57 years old. I know, literally. He owns like a tree cutting company in St. Petersburg, and he owns like a construction company that like builds houses like around I guess the United States. And so I started seeing this guy because, you know, at the time I was staying in Orlando and I was just working in Tampa. So it's like, fuck it, like I'm gonna go out here and he's gonna spoil me. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, let me get to the story. So I started seeing this guy or whatever, and it's always just like, we're always out somewhere nice eating, we're always doing this and that. He's taking me to the mall at least like, what, like 3-4 times a week, 5 times a week. I don't have to ask him for shit. He just giving me everything, like giving me all these funds or whatever. And I should have definitely saw that he was like love bombing me, but like at the time I was like, fuck it, like, you know, if I'm gonna get me a sugar daddy and I'm gonna get me a bag, because bitch, this man was like, you know, he's well off. And so I should have known, like, cause he tried to, like, he would just, I don't know, like there were certain experiences where I just should have like clicked in my head, like, okay, like he kind of treats me like a child. Like, I remember we had like a long day and like we were all hanging out like for days, and then I just remember it was like nighttime and he was like, okay, well I want you to go back to Orlando and this and that, and I'm gonna text you tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, like, bitch, I gotta drive an hour and a half back.
I also forgot to mention that there was also this story pretty much where this guy, he was on a phone call while we were like somewhere in Chicago, and I was scrolling on IG, and I guess my nails are long and they like make a tapping noise or whatever. And he literally took my phone from me, and like he literally took my phone from me, and I waited for him to end this conversation because I didn't want to like make a scene. I was just like, why the fuck did you do that? And he was like, because of tapping. And I was like, well, I'm not a fucking kid, so you're not gonna treat me like a fucking child. And I left and went up to the room, and he just tried to gaslight me and make me seem like I was the problem, when in reality it was very disrespectful. But anyways, back to the video.
But you know, like he filled up my tank and everything. But yeah, like we were like, you know, he was like a exclusive sugar daddy, I guess you could say. And so he started, I started staying around Christmas time. I started, you know, we were always like around each other, and I started staying at his house because he owned like multiple houses around the country. But his house in St. Petersburg had like his family or whatever. And what I mean by his family, I mean like, it was like his daughter was 17 at the time, a year younger than me. And I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna tell you why this man is a predator. I'm not fucking joking. It's so fucked up, but it is what it is. you can't make me feel bad for anything that I've done, because it was all learning experiences, and whatever I've been through, it was because I didn't have the proper guidance and I wasn't taught certain things. I had to learn this world by myself. So at the end of the day, everything makes me a better person, and if you judge me, then oh well, like I don't really give a fuck, because now look where I'm at. Like you would never catch me in that situation. So and like this dude was paying my bills or whatever, and staying with his family or whatever. His daughter, his son was like 16, 15, maybe 14, I don't even fucking remember, but his son was like disabled, so like he had like this disease to where like he couldn't walk, and I guess he had lost like one of his other children. I don't know, like he had told me he lost one of his sons to like an infection, like a military infection or some shit, I don't know. And I think like this disease like run in like their bloodline, and like it deeply, like I guess it affects the men more. But it was the son, the daughter that was a year younger than me, and then his baby mama. His baby mother, she was nice, I liked her, but honestly, girl, this man is a predator. I'm gonna tell you why. Because he told me, he would just joke around and be like, oh, like isn't that so funny that all my baby mothers, I met them at 19, ha ha ha. This man had about 3 baby mothers, and he met them all at 19 and got them pregnant. Like I can't even, how much kids does this man have? 1, 2, 3, like 6 kids, probably more than that, probably like 10, I don't even fucking know. But red flag, you feel me? Like he has all these motherfucking kids with all these bitches, and then he's talking about how he got these baby mamas for like all at the same age, and at the time I was 18, so I should have looked at that and been like, oh, like I'm not even 19 yet, but he just has a weird fetish for, he is a P word. I can't say that on YouTube, I don't know if I can, but he's a weirdo, predator, like. And I'm staying at his house for Christmas, and he's out of town, so I'm just like sleeping like on the couch or whatever, and you know, bumming it out like a whack ass bitch. Like, okay, been there, done that, learned that. But pretty much, like, I remember Christmas time happened, he wasn't even in town, but I was at, you know, the house, and his baby mother had like cooked some food or whatever for Christmas dinner, and he had his dog, a dog that his son owned, from his house at the house we were at, because his son's mother, the other baby mother, came into town, and he didn't feel safe with the dog being around her. It was like a pit bull, big ass pit. And moved the dog over to our crib. But then when him and the other baby mother and the son left to go to the son's, he found out he had a daughter in another state, so they went to a different state to like go spend their first Christmas with like their grandbaby or whatever. And so he left the dog at the house that we were at, even though they all already, like, the lady came in, the baby mama came in, and then she already left. But he decided to keep the dog at the crib that we were staying at. Now this dog was like violent, like he attacked the pregnant bitch before, like. So it's like, I just remember, like, I was walking, there's like a back shed, and then there's like the big house in like St. Pete. And I walked to the back of the shed to like knock on the door and tell like his nephews, because they were there like working on the bathroom. They were like doing some type of construction on the bathroom, because you know they're niggas and they build shit. And so I remember like going to the back and knocking on the back door or whatever, and this was like, you know, in the back shed. And I'm like, hey, like Christmas dinner's ready. At this time I'm like all dressed up, I'm ready to go hang out with my brother for, you know, because he lives in Tampa, for Christmas. And as soon as I turn around and I go up the stairs, this man's pit bull literally started attacking me. Like, I still have the scars on my legs till this day, and on the back. Like, so this man's dog bit me twice, pit bull. I screamed, they came out, saved me, And I just remember thinking, like, I wasn't thinking, oh, like, I could sue him and this and that. Like, I was thinking, okay, like, I'm bleeding, I'm hysterical, like, everybody's rushing to my aid, his daughter's wrapping my leg up, and I'm just like, I don't have health insurance because I'm a, you know, a dancer, and at the time I was 18, like, you know what I mean, like, who thinks about shit like that? Like, I'm a dancer, I don't get benefits. So at the time I'm like, I don't have health insurance, like, I can't afford to go to the hospital. But why didn't I even think he has all this money, like he would have paid for the bills? But I don't know, I wasn't thinking like that because, you know, it was such a scary ass moment. And like, I've always been healthy, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to go to hospital. Like, I don't like hospitals. My mom used to always be in hospitals. I don't fucking like hospitals. And so they wrapped my leg up, and I'm just like, for the next couple, and then this man, he has the nerve to call me, like, when I call him and tell him what happens, oh, women, y'all never listen, and this and that, and I told you to stay away from that dog. If you knew the dog is volatile, why would you have the dog in a house where there's a bunch of guests coming in and out? You should have put the dog where it needed to be before that whole situation even fucking happened. Like, y'all shouldn't even have left the town without moving the fucking dog back to where the fuck he needed to be. So I guess that's second red flag. Number two, honestly, there was a couple. This is like the third one by now, but I'm sure there was way more. But I'm gonna make a video on like a couple of red flags on like to telling dudes or whatever. And so a couple of, like, you know, for the next couple months I'm limping, I can't work, like, bitch, I got attacked by a dog. And so at this point, he's like, okay, well, I have to get back on the road. Like, he has to go to California because that's where he lives, and he has like work to do with construction. And so at this time, like, remember, this man is still paying my bills. So I'm like, fuck it, like, yeah, let's go. Like, let's go on the road. And so he flies me out to like Moline, and like fucking like, it's like Chicago, but like it's really like Davenport and Moline because that's where he's from or whatever. And we were out there, and like we were in nice hotels, but this man, like, I'm telling you, the things that this man did to me and took advantage of, even when I told him to stop, he wouldn't. Like, and he would just try to manipulate me, and like I was like kind of like a lost puppy because, like, bitch, like, where was I gonna go? Back home? Like, it's not like this one time he literally gave me like 3 racks in front of my brother, and then he asked for me to give him 2 back in silence, and I just like, because he wanted me to like send it to people for some type of business thing, but in reality it was like, no, you were trying to put on a look at front of my brother, when in reality you were really just grooming me and taking advantage of me, like trying to look like you're a good person around people that know that you're a predator. And so yeah, like he would just like be like, I remember I had to ask for my rent, and he was just like, oh, like, I didn't tell you to use that money for your bills. And I'm just like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do with them? Because I'm not working, I can't go to work because your dog bit me. Like, he literally had me late on my fucking rent. Like, it got so bad, y'all. Like honestly, sometimes thinking about the shit that this man's did to me and what, it's just like, it's traumatizing as fuck. Like, it's really embarrassing sometimes to talk about because, like, I'm not the same person I was, but to know somebody could take advantage of me like that, you know, I was 18 and young, like, he was 57 and a fucking predator, like, easily. But we got to California eventually. We flew to Cali, and I just remember, like, we were staying in his house in the mountains at the time because he was building like Jamie Foxx's like guest house or some shit like that. And so we were staying in, like, he had me literally isolated in the mountains in like San Jose, and he was paying my bills or whatever. And that's when it really started getting toxic because, you know, at the time he was like, I want you to come live with me. And I was like, okay, like, I will, because I'm moving from Ohio anyways. At the time I lived in Ohio, I was leaving my toxic relationship, so I had, you know, got my ex off of my lease. And so I came to Florida for, you know, I had still lived in Ohio because I came to Florida because during the pandemic I couldn't pay my bills because everything closed at like 10. So it's like I came down for Thanksgiving, stayed for Tampa because Super Bowl and everything was coming up, and I just happened to have family down there. So while I was going on these vacations and hanging out with this dude, I was actually staying at my aunt's house, and all my stuff was there, and then I just like go out and like go random places and then come back and just back up here. And so we get to Cali, and it's just at the point where he's like, Like, it was nice, I'm not gonna lie. The house was beautiful. There was a garden. Like, he wanted to build a club. He wanted to help me with my music career, because at first he was like, okay, like, he tried to play me like his assistant, and he wanted me to keep track of all of his receipts for his taxes, and he wanted me to, we went to like Office Depot and like bought shit. Like, he wanted me to pretty much be his bitch accountant or whatever, which at the time, like, I don't mind supporting a man, but like at the same time, like, this whole situation was fucked up because he really was like a predator, and I was just young and thought I was like popping, but like, and I was like living a good life, but I wasn't, because like it was traumatizing. Now it's trauma, so it's like, but it's a lesson. So and like, he just started getting very toxic. Like, I remember he would literally fly like Puerto Rican I can't even say that word. Puerto Rican women that do services for exchange. He would fly them out to like Cali, and he had like these friends, and I think like his friend was like named Mr. B or some shit like that, and he was like some weird monk Reiki healer dude. He felt like one time I asked him to read my Reiki, and he told me something dark was in my soul, and I'm just like, are you sure? Because like, you low-key tried to rape me, and then like your friend the predator. But we'll get to that story. So he would fly these Puerto Rican women, out to, and they weren't even the baddest chicks. They were like obviously girls that are getting taken advantage of, like, and fetishized. And he would fly these 3 girls out, and he wanted me to like pretty much like be like the pimp, not even the pimp, but like more like watch his hoes and make sure they stay in check. And so he has like his 3 business friends and Mr. B or some shit there, and these hoes are pretty much there to like do sexual favors or whatever, even though I don't think they ever slept with them. I just think that they did weird shit to them or whatever. And these girls got paid, not even much. Like, I think they might have got paid like $1,000 each, if they even made that much. But yeah, it's so sad, like, because you know Puerto Rico's going through shit like over there, and like these girls, like the girl was telling me like, I had this dude trying to kill me and this and that, and they're looking for me, just like bitches in horrible situations. Like, and I just remember like one time, like we were listening to the car to Drake, and I was like, it was like, if you had a twin, I would still choose you. And I turned over to him and I was like, babe, like, if I had a twin, would you still choose me? And he was just like, I would have to check out your twin. And that just snapped in my head, like, why are you being disrespectful? You're only obviously with me because I'm a fine young female and you want things from me. And it's just like, if you don't like me for me, what do you want me for? Like, what the fuck do you want with my little 18-year-old ass? And I confronted him later about it, and he was just like, I was like, did you really mean what you said? And he was like, yeah, I did. And so I was like, cool, bet, you can leave. And he left like the house, and his friends and like the hoes were there, so I was chilling by myself. And then I went to go hang out with the girls because, you know, like I was getting along with them real well. And so we're all hanging out there, we're chilling and dancing and vibing, and Mr. B comes over and literally like fucking grabs my ass, and I'm just like, I'm not one of these hoes, like, do not touch me. Like, I damn near cussed him out and I left, and like that was it. And he literally, the sugar daddy, blamed me for it, as if it was my fault that his friend has no respect for the women that you're obviously there with, or the girl you were there with. Like, he knows that we were together, but he just felt like he could test the waters. Like, the fuck, I never got no apology or nothing. And he blamed it on me, and he was like, well, you wanted to stay, because he wanted to leave. And I was like, I'm not going with you because you just said some flaw-ass disrespectful shit to me. Like, the fuck? And so he's like, oh, well, it's your fault that you decided to stay. So what did you expect? And so like, as the, you know, times go on or whatever, and you know, he just talks horrible about his baby mothers and shit. That's another red flag. Like, y'all, I have stories for days. This is just one fucking, but this is literally one fucking story, y'all. Y'all think this is bad? You should really hear, like, I mean, this is fucked up, but like, you should hear the other stories that I have. And so we just get back to the house in the mountains, and like, he's just starting to act way more like disrespectful, like all types of shit. And like at the time, this is like I was having another spiritual awakening, and I was like going through this cycle. And I remember I like talked to my angel for the first time, but like we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about that another time, on when I first met like an angel and like they introduced themselves to me. But this dude, like, he just started getting so flawed, and like he would just be like, oh, like, I want the house clean and this and that. And I'm like, nigga, why did you tell the maids to stop coming? Like, you have money. Like, I'm not here to clean it up. I'm a sugar baby. Like, he thought I was his bitch, but I was really a sugar baby. Like, why would I be with a balding man? Every morning this man wakes up, he put that MCM hat on first before he even brushed his teeth, hiding his bald spot on top, and it's very obvious. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, he didn't look as old as he was, but bitch, he was aging for sure. But you know, lessons learned, money's not everything. One day I forgot what happened. Like, we were just arguing, and like I just got tired of the bullshit, and I was just like, I'm leaving. Like, and at the time I didn't have no money in my account, because this was what he used to like try to keep me in my situation, is that he wouldn't give me money. He would pay for everything, but he wouldn't give me money. At the time I couldn't work. I'm in a whole nother fucking city. I don't even have a car to drive to the strip clubs in the area, even if I wanted to. And then it's like, I can't go to work because I have a dog bite. So it's like, in a fucked up situation, depending on this man. Ladies, always have your own fucking money, swear to God. Like, I've learned this twice now. Always have your own fucking money. I have a whole nother story. So it's like, yeah, like, I was like, I'm done, like, I'm leaving. And so I asked my brother to go half on a ticket to fly back to Tampa, and I go half on a ticket, and he's like, oh no, like, you know, why are you trying to, he really wasn't trying to let me leave, but like, once he saw that my brother knew I was leaving and I was getting the ticket and I made my brother pay for it, he gave me like the money for the ticket. So I took the money because, bitch, like, at the time I didn't have shit. Like, I was left in this situation with nothing because I let this man manipulate me, and I was young and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I thought shit was sugar and sweet, and it really fucking wasn't. Like, I was being groomed, manipulated, like, taken advantage of, like, y'all, like dead ass. This man would, like, I would tell him, like, I do not want you to take pictures of me, and he would just be in there like trying to sneak things, and like he would always, like, TMI, but like he would try to get me pregnant all the time. Like, and I was waiting for my birth control pills to come in, because at the time I was switching from my shot, my depot shot, because like I couldn't take it no more, to like the pill. And I was waiting, and he would always try to like get me pregnant. Like, I swear to God, y'all, like, and he would tell me like, I want to have more kids and this and that, and I'm just like, that's not my problem. But knowing that all his baby mamas are 19, that's what his plan was to pretty much put me in the situation, financially cripple me, and keep me in a situation and have me locked down. Yeah, keep in mind this man was a Cancer, very needy. I'm cleaning up all the time, but you always want the back rubs. You always want me to go do this and that, and you think just because you're giving me money, like, I'm a sugar baby. I'm not your slave. The fuck? You're meant to please me here. There's not something where it's like, oh, you got to do this to get anything from me. Like, and so I just remember, like, my ticket, and I flew back to Tampa, and I started over, and I started working at this new club, and that was during like Super Bowl. And so then I started really making money. So I like leveled up from that. A little time forward, a couple months later, I fly to California because I was talking to this shitty ass dude, which I have that story for you too, because we ended up beefing, and he was a bitch and a fake ass nigga. He was a Libra. Not all Libras are bad, but I do not fuck with that nigga. He is a bitch at its finest. Like, I literally cannot tell you how much of a bitch, crybaby when I didn't want to be with him, like, and everything. But that's another story. And I flew out to Cali with this dude to go see his family. It was so bad. Like, I literally have to make that the next story time. Like, this man ended up being broke, and the way we were stranded, like, I just have to make a story time on it, y'all, next time. And so pretty much, why do I learn all these lessons? Pretty much since I went back to Cali, I was like, you know, I'm gonna shit on this dude and see if I can get like some money out of him, because now he's not gonna take advantage of me. Like, I'm up and I'm popping now. I know what you're up to. I know you're weird. And like, go out there to see him. No, I go out there and we meet up, and the whole time he's trying to hug up on me and put his hands through my hair, and I'm just like, no. And he's trying to manipulate me to be all up on me, but it's like, no, like. And so he was like, oh, I'm gonna buy you some weed in Cali, and he buys me like an eighth, and I'm just like, you're on some broke shit. And so I dip, and I just remember like I curved him and shitted on him so hard. It was so hilarious, like the way this man was desperate for me. I'm telling you, it had been like 3-4 months since I had seen this man, and I was still his fucking wallpaper. Pathetic. At 57, come on now, Kevin, like, do better. And so literally, like, the fuck. And so the last time I saw him, it was like, I tried to get money for my leg because I could have sued you, sir, and honestly your dog attacked me, so I deserve some type of money for like what the fuck happened to me. Like, you know, I didn't get to go to the hospital or anything. And he was just like, I want to go to my doctor. Okay, I'm not under you, I'm not your bitch. Like, you want to be all up in my business and try to lure me back in, and I don't want to go to your doctor. It's none of your business. Like, I'm still living inside Orlando. Like, give me my money. But he don't want to give me shit. But I went out with my friend, and she pretty much was convinced that we should finesse him to get some money out of him. And he was like, pretty much he agreed, okay, well, the way I'm going to pay you back is I just rather buy you stuff. And he led us all the way to the mall just to say he's not getting us shit. So I cussed him out in the MCM store and exposed him for being a fucking predator. And it was embarrassing for him. And after that, I blocked him and I never spoke to him again, you know, because I don't need you, bitch. Like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, you have me fucked up. You're a predator. Not just did I get attacked and groomed and damn near molested, damn near by your ass. It's just like, I had a lot of anger. So I just said, fuck that shit. Like, and I learned my lesson, got a bigger bag. He's still obsessed with me, and I definitely learned a lesson. Always have your own money. Sugar daddies are not the way, like, not unless he's young and he actually has potential. It's just not worth it. It's damn near like kind of selling your soul. And I don't fuck with older men anymore because a lot of times they try to prey after young women, and I'm not gonna be a victim again. So yeah, and then I had another story where a similar situation happened. He was a tad bit younger, 43 or something, but I will get to y'all that story another time. Yeah, but if you like this video, it was very fucking traumatic. Please don't judge me, but only God can judge me. It is what it is and made me go to who I am. Hopefully this video can make somebody else aware, so they don't have to go through something like this. And then to also show that if you have been through something like this, it's okay. I've been through it too. Shit happens. We live and we learn. And then maybe if you just wanted to be entertained, something interesting to tell you. So yeah, if you liked the video, subscribe down below. Leave a like and leave a comment. And yeah, like, I definitely have a lot more crazier stories to tell y'all. So definitely stay tuned and let me know if you like this video and you want more story time. And I will see you guys in the next video.